I love the Volkssturmgewehr, but I always ask myself, what is the best magazine for damage? Because you have fast shooting damage and you have the normal mag, which is actually 60 rounds, which is plenty cool. And we do have some decent recoil as well. Now with the addition of the true game data information, I can finally tell you what is the best one. When you see here that the recoil is not up to perfect, so we'll be having to work a little bit on that, but all in all it does already feel pretty fantastic, and we'll now deep dive and see what is actually the bestest magazine, because we have the choice to actually play the Gorenko together with him ultra fire rate. Is that even remotely viable? Now the data for the Volkssturmgewehr is a little bit mambo-jambled, but it does remotely work. So we're going for TDK 250 milliseconds. And if we're going for the bonus damage magazine, you see the stats here are a little bit weird. So we're going for the bonus damage magazine, neck and chest damage gets increased, but that's about it. On the long ranges, everything goes down. But you can see that already with bonus fire rates, this would be better than the normal time to kill. So if we're going for the damage mag on range with a bonus fire rate of the recoil booster, plus 5% again, minus 10%, we should be able to make up for the plus 18 milliseconds TTK. But that's only by a minimal margin. So not really by anything. I mean, we could be adding hollow point to just get a bonus TDK out there on the ranges, as you can see. But is that really worth it if you really think about it in the long run? Well, you should get some lowered shots to kill, but I mean, you'd use the damage mag, and we know what the damage mag does. That's what you're going to see. Therefore, we're going to be swapping over to the Gorenko. So let's remove the recoil booster and the hollow point. Let's move this. And let's go for the fire rate magazine. So if you're now, instead of the Russian short, going for the fire rate magazine, that's only 40 bullets. But what would it essentially do to this? And you can see that with the bonus fire rate, but with the minus damage we're achieving, already our time to kill drops tremendously. Obviously, now with the bonus fire rate, you could think about, again, hollow point. And then our range, we're good off. Like, this is not that bad. We would actually get a better time to kill to the head, upper legs, lower legs, and everywhere. Realistically, though, the main damage where you're often hitting is chest, and that's where you get a huge one that you can't compensate for. So we'd have to hit a combination of headshots, upper or lower arm, leg shots to somewhere get like a good time to kill running. But as soon as we hit the chest, we would get like a bonus TDK. Even if we go for more fire rate, like in order to compensate for this, and that's like kind of the point, if we would like to compensate for this, we'd have to go for the ultra fire rate. So we'd have to play with the recoil booster and with the long range beaming magazine. So increasing the horizontal bounds by plus 50%. And you've seen the horizontal bounds there, and I can show it to you. But the reality is, with the huge horizontal bounds plus and even the minus that we get from the Gorenko, it might not be possible to get these together wrapped up. And the reality is here for this one that you have a 60 round long range beaming mag, and your TTK is just good. And then you can add a recoil booster for a little bit more fire rate, and on top of that play actually the Krosnik, which is the long range, super long range beaming. What the? Bunch of plunderplate actors. With the 60 round mag now, we do have actually a base very good recoil, because let me show this to you. We're going to take the Quartz, Krosnik, and the 2.5 times. Cool thing is, for the long range, we do also have something called Perfectionist, which gives us bonus recoil control. Ammunition in this point lengthened because we're going to play it on long range, and perk obviously here fully loaded. So now with the 60 round mag with the Krosnik, that's the long range, super long range shooting mag, and the 2.5 times. Let's see where this is going. We could probably also add the recoil booster because we're tending to increase the time to kill a little bit. Therefore, we should actually select that. Okay, paid actors. That was without all the attachments, but you can see it already. We're going for this. Very nutty laser beam, right? Very, very nutty laser beam. Just like that. That's what the gun has to offer. I was surprised because I wasn't aware that the Volkssturmgewehr was this useful. I mean, obviously, you do have some inconsistencies here. You have the early magazines, but all in all, it's already very nice. And we just have to consider, how do we get the recoil even further down now? When we're looking at the stocks, we could put the initial firing recoil down. We have the Crossnick for recoil control, recoil recovery, flinch resistance, accuracy. These two are kind of like a little bit so we could shrink the initial firing recoil, but we're probably going to be going for the bonus normal recoil. Then for the underbarrel, obviously it's always hand stop carver. What could it be? I mean, since we have a lot of vert, we're going to be taking the carver for the vert. And here, this one we're going to leave open to check how the recoil does look now, to then compensate either, do we need more horizontal because we shrank the vert essentially down? That's like kind of a very important thing to look for, because the more you shrink the vert, the more horizontal bounce you might actually introduce into the gun, because you're essentially squashing the recoil together. And for example, the cover gives you 9% down, but only 3% together. And therefore you might squash it so much that you're introducing the widespread, essentially. And then you're turning the Volkssturmgewehr into something that it doesn't want to be. We already do have very mental recoil here right now. So that is super good with the 60 round mag. I'm loving it. And now if we follow up on this, feels very good, right? Like it's just a Taka super nail gun machine. The bonus fire rate does not play a role at all. You do have the bonus of first, again, recoil going a little bit weird. Now, if we're going for another shot, again, you should do 2 sprays, because for some reason, Vanguard guns, they have a very intriguing recoil deviation where not every spray looks the same. And as you can see, you have the beginning weirdness, and then you have the normal up here. And here you see, like, we need a little bit more horizontal. The way it wibble wobbles currently, a bit more horizontal would be wished for. It's just paid actors everywhere, honestly. So that was how it was. So now if we want to shrink the horizontal down, we could obviously go for the polymer for accuracy and recoil during sustained fire, which is going to go for both horizontal and vertical. But you do also have the chance to essentially go for the groove grip. Gives you a lot of horizontal recoil control, even the most, for only aim down, side speed, and sprint to fire, which is useless. But you also get a little bit more strafe speed, so when you're actually shooting, that you're strafing a little bit left and right faster around, which always has been good for the Cold War weapons, so why not for the Vanguard weapons as well? So, as you can see, the wibble wobble that we had on top, bit shrank together. But now let me go a little bit further back. I want to do the second spray again, do 2 sprays because sprays could be weird like that. And now if we're looking at this, it just does feel more grooved together very nicely. It was already good, but now, like, if you're trying to shoot just a one spot over and over again, right now I like to compare it to an M13 automatic Grau laser beam. That's at least how it feels. Yes, you can also take further higher magnification scopes, aka the night vision scope, for example. I don't like the 3 to 6 times because in the 6 times mode, the recoil gets horrendous. So that's not. Mostly play the 2.5 times probably. But if you want bonus magnification, definitely the night vision. I will actually kill the one or the other Jimmo theme to show you how the actual lethality potential is for the gun. Hello, Mr. Jimothy. Easy shots being kept on. I mean, that was really very simple. Lobby beams are my favorite part-time activity to figure out if I like a gun or not, especially when you're going to be trying out a different side. I mean, this is like with the thermal scope. The problem with the thermal scope you just perfectly saw there is that, like here, when you're shooting kind of left of the scope. So with the actual 2.5 times, you're more centered. With a thermal scope, due to the fire rate, it kind of goes away and then it's a bit weird. So I guess the 2.5 times scope is really the scope for the Volkssturmgewehr. My favorite spot to test guns because it has close range, long range, and mid range. Airfield is very good if you're trying to level something, but also if you're trying to test something. Definitely can shoot people on range. That's not the problem. You just have to not suck and actually have decent aim.
Enemy advanced UAV up. Enemy soldier nearby. Enemy UAV
never take my testament on how I'm beaming with a gun for actually the gun being bad or something. It's mostly just me feeling rusty. Where were you? Oh, you were all the way there.
Enemy UAV active.
Why do you have to be up there, Jimothy?
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
I murdered your friend. Oh, wait, I was actually not your friend. I murdered someone you didn't even know. Gotta do what you gotta do.
Enemy UAV active.
And sometimes kill people that are living in your bud.
Enemy soldier nearby.
Wait. I thought that bush was a person.
UAV active. Enemy UAV active.
Oh, Timothy
Enemy
in the
soldier
woods.
nearby.
Let me see how much damage that was. Like even for like whipping this out so quickly. Now I was already oh, we all almost had him half down with that. I like what I see there. Let's like gouge. How are the quick reactions? How's the quick ADS? You know, if you have to flick it out and then have to beam someone, can it hold it there too? Because these are all like important things for the gun. Also, when you're playing it on Rebirth Island, you know, how fast can you get the gun ready? How fast can you get the gun out? Can you just like, you know, boop? And that's definitely what the Volkssturmgewehr has to offer. So to see if it's actually only a CODBR gun or if it does also have the potential to join up on other guns. You're mounted with a Bren. The Bren and incendiary rounds. This building up here, if you can hold it for a while, just FY, depending on what kind of gun you're actually leveling. This is where I usually, oh, you're in Narnia. This is where I usually stay on top and kill the people that are landing. Then I go in and kill the people that are inside. Kind of like that, you know, back and forth. And then I just slap on a double XP token and kind of like skyrocket my guns really fast to max level. Not even contracts, just this. Just murdering people. They give so much XP. And then especially if you have double XP to offer, it just partially goes so fast.
Enemy dropping into
Okay, let's not play, but reposition.
enemy UAV active.
And yes, the gun also does have fire.
Nearby.
It's your verdict, ladies and gentlemen. Krosnick, 2.5, Perfectionist for loaded groove grip, Dixie, Lengthen, Carver, Krosnick 428, and recoil booster, turning this into your new favorite M13 Growl laser beam weapon. Yes, it does have more shots to kill than other guns. Obviously, you do have to hit them, but it does feel like an absolutely menacing laser beam. It's good to know that neither the damage mag nor the short range mag is actually worth it. It's just the standard mag with a recoil booster. Obviously, you could play it as a sniper support as well. And if you're playing it as sniper support, we're definitely talking about the Reisdorf. We could be playing it as a sniper support, and then we're definitely talking about the hipfire accuracy barrel, because you would be turning this into a hipfire gung-ho monster machine. But realistically, this is just the perfect M13 for the long-range beams, feeling extremely good. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you have to say? Is it something you want to try out, the Volkssturmgewehr, the gun that is hard to say for non-Germans? And it's always fun to hear Americans say it, because they have the problem with the Gewehr part. Gewehr. Because it makes no sense, these letters together like that for English-speaking people. That being said, thank you for watching. Thank you for coming to the Gun Doctor. I hope I could present you a gun you love as much as I do. And you now finally know how to optimally play this Definitely post your builds in the comments below. Share your thoughts. Also, Warzone 2 announced up and coming. We're excited to hear all the things that recent streamers actually shared. I was invited to the same talk, but my children were children. Therefore, I couldn't attend. Have a wonderful good day. See you in the next videos.